The red skies cracked open with the sound of warships. People of the planet Torval ran in fear as fire rained from above. Screams echoed across the metal cities, and dust covered the once beautiful gardens. It was supposed to be a day of peace. But nothing about that day was peaceful. Among the chaos, a young alien girl named Zira sat in her wheelchair, watching the sky burn. Her purple skin glowed in the firelight, and her long black hair flew in the wind. Zira was born with weak legs. In her proud warrior family, this made her a burden. She had trained her mind, studied technology, learned languages, but none of it mattered to them. Her clan only respected strength. She had none. They said when the attack started, her family did not look back. They rushed to the evacuation ships. Zira called to them, begging for help, but her voice was lost in the noise. The last thing she saw was her older brothers. Back as the ship door closed, left alone in a broken building, she sat in silence. Her arms trembled as she tried to roll forward, but a beam had blocked the path. The ground shook again. Another explosion. A wave of dust hit her face. She coughed. But she didn't cry. She had done that already. For years. Today, she just closed her eyes and waited for whatever would come next. But then, she heard something strange. Footsteps. Not the heavy boots of Torval warriors. Not the metal sounds of the machines. These were slow, careful, almost gentle. She opened her eyes. A tall figure stepped through the smoke. His armor was scratched and dusty. Human armor. She had only seen humans in books. Strange, emotional creatures. Dangerous, her people had said. Soft-hearted and foolish. But this one was calm. His helmet turned toward her. He stood still for a moment, then walked closer. His voice came through the speaker, soft and deep. "You all right?" Zira blinked. She had not heard that question in a long time. I was left," she replied quietly. The human looked around at the destruction, then back at her. "I'm not leaving you." She didn't believe him, not at first. But then, without another word, he carefully knelt beside her. His hands touched the metal parts of her wheelchair, checking the damage. "This is jammed. We'll have to lift. You'll carry me?" Her voice cracked. "Of course," he said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Zira didn't know what to say. She watched him undo the armor on one arm, slide it off, and gently lift her into his arms. His grip was strong, but not painful. For a moment, she felt weightless. Not just her body, but her heart. As they moved through the ruins, Zira clung to his chest. The human didn't speak much. He only said short, calm words. "Hold tight. Almost there. Stay awake." His breath was steady, even as the sky continued to rumble. They passed burning tanks, broken drones, and fallen warriors. Zira noticed something she hadn't seen before: fear on the faces of the strong. Even the best fighters had fallen. Yet, this human, alone, carried her without slowing down. At the edge of the city, he found a transport ship hidden under some debris. With one hand, he opened the hatch and gently placed her inside. "Name's Alex," he finally said. "We'll get you to safety." Zira looked up at him, her voice soft. "Why are you helping me?" He paused. "Because no one else did." As the ship lifted off, Zira stared at the ground below, at the place where she was left to die. For the first time in her life, someone had picked her up. Not because she was useful, not because of duty, but because he cared. And that changed something inside her. Forever. The transport ship flew quietly over the desert. Inside, Zira sat on a soft bench, wrapped in a blanket. Her legs, as always, did not move. But her heart was awake in a way she had never felt before. Across from her, Alex, the human who had saved her, checked the ship's systems and monitored the sky for any signs of danger. Zira looked at him, trying to understand this strange man. His armor was old. His face had small scars, but his eyes, His eyes were warm. He had no reason to help her. She had no value. Yet he was here. "Where are we going?" she asked, her voice still weak. "To my outpost," he said. "It's quiet, safe for now." Zira nodded, but her mind was full of worry. What if the war followed them? What if her family returned and took her back, only to leave her again? What if Alex changed his mind? Alex looked over and saw the fear in her eyes. "You're safe with me, Zira," he said. "I keep my word." That simple sentence hit her harder than any laser blast ever could. When the ship landed, the area looked empty. Just a small rocky base hidden between two hills. No towers, no soldiers. Just silence. Alex carried her again, this time more carefully. As if he understood she wasn't used to being held. Inside the base, everything was clean and simple. A single cot, a small cooking unit, and a glowing data screen on the wall. He placed her gently on a padded seat and handed her a cup of warm broth. "Rest. You've been through too much." Zira stared at the drink, unsure what to do. No one had ever cooked for her before. She took a sip. It was salty and strange, but comforting. She closed her eyes for a moment and let the warmth spread through her chest. Later that evening, Alex spoke again. "You're from Clan Drez, right?" Zira nodded slowly. "I heard they value only fighters. If you can't hold a weapon, they leave you behind." She looked down in shame. "I was a disappointment to them." "Broken." Alex frowned. "You're not broken. They are." Zira looked up. No one had ever said those words before. For years she believed her weakness made her worthless. Now a human was telling her something different. Something dangerous. Something beautiful. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her thoughts swirled like stars. What did she want now? What future could someone like her have? In the morning, Alex found her staring at the control screen, reading human language, fast. "You're a quick learner," he said. "I study to feel useful," she replied. "But they never cared." "Well, I do," he said. "This world isn't just about strength. Sometimes it's about knowledge, skill, heart." Zira felt something spark inside her. Something new. "I can help you fix the damaged drones," she offered. Alex raised an eyebrow. "You know repair tech?" "Yes, and communication systems, and encryption codes." He laughed softly. "Good, you're my crew now." She didn't smile often, but she did then. A small one. It felt strange, but good. Over the next few days, the base came alive again. Zira used her mind, her hands, her voice. Alex gave her space, but always stayed close. He never touched her unless she asked, never looked at her with pity. Only respect. And for the first time in her life, she felt something dangerous. Hope that beyond the hills, far away from the outpost, the war was still burning. And someone from her past had seen her escape. Someone who wasn't ready to let her go. Zira worked quietly beside Alex, repairing the damaged scout drone. Her hands moved fast and steady, connecting wires, reading signals, and fixing the power core. Alex watched with calm interest. Every day, the girl who once saw herself as a burden was proving something powerful. She was not weak. "You fixed that faster than I ever could," Alex said with a small grin. Zira looked up, surprised. "You mean that?" "I don't say what I don't mean." His words made her heart beat faster, though she didn't understand why. She looked away, hiding a small smile. For the first time, her knowledge was helping someone. She was useful, and not because someone expected her to be, but because someone respected her mind. But peace doesn't last forever. That night, the outpost scanner beeped. Alex stood up at once, checking the alert. Zira wheeled herself closer. The screen showed a small Torval scout ship flying low across the desert. It didn't look dangerous, but Alex's face grew hard. "Someone's looking," he said. "For me?" Zira asked. "Maybe, or maybe they're just scouting. Either way, we prepare." He started locking doors, arming his pulse rifle, and loading supplies into the emergency cache. Zira's heart pounded. She remembered the cold looks from her family, the way they left her behind like trash. If they found her now, would they take her back? Punish her for escaping? She didn't want to go back. Will you send me away? She asked. Alex paused and turned toward her. No, never. You stay as long as you want. But if someone comes to hurt you, I'll stop them. Her eyes filled with something warm, not fear, not sadness. Trust. In the morning, the scout ship was gone, but both of them stayed alert. Alex trained Zira to use the base's defense systems. He showed her how to track movement, how to set traps, and even how to shoot a small energy pistol. I never held a weapon before, she whispered, staring at the smooth grip in her hand. You don't have to use it, he said. Just know. How? Her hands trembled, but she nodded. That evening, they sat under the stars outside the outpost. The desert was silent except for the soft hum of distant winds. Alex looked up at the sky, then turned to her. What do you want, Zira? For your future? She didn't answer right away. No one ever asked me that, she said. Well, I'm asking. She looked at the stars. I want to build things, repair, help others. Maybe teach one day, not fight. Just build. Alex nodded. Then, we'll make that happen. She looked at him, truly looked, and for the first time, she saw something new in his face. Pain. Old pain, hidden deep. What about you? She asked. Alex's eyes darkened. I lost my team in the first wave of this war. My ship was destroyed. Everyone died but me. I stayed behind to help survivors. But I didn't think I'd save anyone again. You saved me, she said softly. He nodded. And you saved me right back. Neither of them spoke after that. The silence between them was full of things they couldn't say yet, but deep in the desert, another Torval ship landed, this time with warriors. And one of them was her brother. The same one who left her behind. He had found her signal. And he was coming. The next morning started calm. Zira was inside the outpost, updating the security systems, while Alex checked the drone patrol routes. The sun was rising, casting soft light over the sand dunes. Everything seemed normal until the warning signal flashed red. Alex rushed to the screen. Zira followed, her heart beating faster. Multiple life forms, moving fast. Torval armor, he said quietly. Zira's breath caught in her chest. How many? 5, maybe 6. Alex didn't waste time. He handed Zira her communication tablet and wheeled her into the hidden underground bunker. It wasn't big, but it was safe, sealed, quiet, and hidden beneath thick walls. I want you to stay here until I call you. No sound, no movement. But I can help, I know, and you already have. But this part, I do alone. She didn't want to be left behind again. But this time, she wasn't being abandoned. She was being protected. Alex closed the hatch and turned back to the main door, pulse rifle in hand. Outside, the wind picked up. Then shadows moved between the rocks. The first voice came through a speaker, loud and proud. Zira heard it even. Inside the bunker. This is Commander Tarek of Clan Drez. We are searching for a missing member of our bloodline. Return her, and no harm comes to you. Alex stood calmly, weapon lowered. She's not missing. She's here by choice. You. Speak boldly, human. Do you even know who she is? I do. She's Zira, a builder, a genius. And someone you left behind like garbage. There was a pause. Then Tarek's voice changed. She is our responsibility. She belongs with us. Alex's tone dropped cold. She doesn't belong to one. Inside the bunker, Zira stared at the ceiling, holding her tablet tightly. Her body shook not from fear, but from rage. Her brother was out there, acting like he cared. He didn't. Not when he turned his back and let the doors close in her face. She opened the tablet's camera and watched the feed from the outpost security drone. What she saw made her heart stop. Commander Tarek stood tall, his armor shining. His face looked the same as always, hard, proud, emotionless. He had 2 warriors beside him, weapons ready. But Alex didn't move. He didn't flinch. He stood like a wall. "Step aside," Tarek ordered, "or be destroyed." Alex simply sighed. "Try." The Torval warriors raised their weapons. Zira screamed into the mic, "No!" But it was too late. The battle started with flashes of light and roars of energy blasts. Alex moved with skill, ducking, rolling, firing precise shots. He didn't back down, even when one of the aliens charged him with a blade. He took a cut to the arm, but dropped the attacker with a fast punch and a stun round. Zira couldn't sit still. She opened the emergency override on her chair and activated the trap defense system. Energy panels rose from the sand around the outpost and fired stun beams, creating a shock net. One of the Torval warriors fell. Another ran for cover. Only Tarek remained standing. Alex, bleeding from the arm, kept his rifle pointed. Tarek looked angry but also curious. "She activated those defenses," he said. "Didn't she?" Alex nodded. "She's more than you ever saw." Tarek looked toward the bunker, as if he could see through the walls. "She is blood. She should return with us." Alex didn't lower his weapon. "She's not going with you. Not unless she wants to." And for the first time in her life, Zira realized the truth. She had a choice, and she was done being silent. She opened the hatch and rose slowly into the light, her chair gliding across the ground. Dust blew around her, but her face was steady. "I don't belong to you, Tarek," she said. "You left me. Now I leave you." Her brother's face didn't move, but his eyes narrowed. "You would turn against your blood?" "I never had blood. Only chains." She stopped beside Alex. Her voice was calm. "This human gave me something you never did. Respect." Tarek stared at her for a long moment. Then he lowered his weapon. "This is your mistake, sister." "No," she replied. "It's my beginning." He turned without a word. The remaining warriors followed, and just like that, they were gone. The outpost fell quiet after the Torval soldiers left. The sand settled again, and the sky slowly turned dark. Zira sat beside Alex inside the bunker, wrapping his wounded arm with clean bandages. Her hands were steady, even as her heart still raced from what she had just done. "You didn't have to come out," Alex said softly. "It was dangerous." "I know," she replied. "But I wasn't going to hide while someone fought for me." Alex gave a small smile. "You were brave." Zira looked down at his injured arm. "You got hurt because of me." "I'd do it again," he said without hesitation. She didn't speak for a while. Her mind was spinning. She had stood up to Tarek, her brother, her blood, and it hadn't destroyed her. Instead, she felt something powerful, like chains breaking inside her chest. She was no longer the girl waiting to be chosen. She had chosen herself. That night, they shared a quiet meal inside the outpost. Zira's eyes kept drifting toward the stars. "Do you think they'll come back?" she asked. Alex leaned back in his chair. "Maybe, but next time we'll be ready." Zira paused. "Next time I want to stand with you, not behind you." He looked at her with a mix of surprise and respect. "You sure?" "I'm not a warrior, but I'm not weak anymore." From that day forward, Alex trained her not to fight like a soldier, but to defend herself with skill and calm. She learned how to move her chair with speed across sand, how to aim her small pistol, how to spot danger before it arrived. She was quick, focused, and determined. And in return, she taught Alex how to repair advanced alien tech things even he had never seen before. Together, they upgraded the outpost systems. They improved the drones, added energy shields, and even built a small greenhouse with autogrow pods. The place no longer felt like a hideout. It felt like home. One evening, as they worked side by side on the roof, Zira asked something she had kept in her heart. "Why do you stay alone, Alex? You could have gone home to Earth." Alex paused. "There's no home for me there anymore. The war changed everything. I lost people. My squad, my friends, my brother. I'm sorry," she whispered. He looked at her. "Then I found you. And I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time." "What?" she asked. "A reason." Zira's breath caught. She didn't know what to say. She looked away, her cheeks warm, her chest tight with a feeling she didn't know how to name. A soft wind passed between them, but just as peace returned, a strange sound echoed from the edge of the desert. It wasn't a Torval ship this time. It was a different engine, louder, heavier. A ship neither of them recognized. Alex moved to the scanner, his eyes narrowed. "That's not one of ours. And not one of yours either." Zira came beside him. On the screen was a black ship, large and heavily armed. No markings, no signal. Just moving straight toward them. Zira's voice was quiet. "Who are they?" Alex's jaw tightened. "I don't know, but they're not here for a friendly visit." The past had come for Zira once, but this was something else. Something worse. Asterisk. The dark ship hovered low above the desert, kicking up clouds of sand as it slowed to a stop near the outpost. It was massive black steel, no symbols, no lights. It made no sounds except for the hum of its powerful engines. Alex stood beside the outer defense panel, eyes locked on the screen. Zira, right behind him, felt a chill crawl up her spine. "They're not Torval," she said. "I've never seen this design before." "Neither have I," Alex replied, voice low. "But they're scanning us." The outpost's warning lights blinked. Unauthorized probe signal. Communication attempt. Blocked. System override. Attempted. "They're trying to hack our shields," Zira said, her hands moving quickly over the keyboard. "I'm cutting the connection now." A loud thud echoed outside. Then another dot and another. Someone, or something, was walking toward them. Alex picked up his pulse rifle and loaded a fresh power cell. Zira wheeled herself to the corner defense turret and activated manual controls. The outer cameras caught the first image. 4 tall figures, humanoid, but wrong. Their armor was spiked and mismatched. One wore a skull over his helmet. Their eyes glowed red through black visors. These weren't soldiers. They were raiders, scavenger pirates, Alex muttered. They hunt abandoned outposts and take anything they find. Sometimes people too. Zira's hands tightened on the controls. "We're not abandoned." "No," Alex said. "We're not." The first raider stepped closer to the gate and knocked. A deep, slow knock. A voice came through the speaker, rough and distorted. "Hand over your tech and the girl. No one gets hurt." Zira's breath caught. "They're after me." Alex didn't answer. He walked to the speaker panel and hit transmit. "Walk away," he said. "This is your only warning." A pause, then laughter. "You think you can stop us, human? We've burned cities bigger than this. We've taken ships from captains twice your size." Alex didn't raise his voice. "Then you haven't met me yet." The raiders began cutting through the outer gate with plasma saws. Zira spoke fast. "We can reroute power to the shield net. Buy us time." Alex nodded. "Do it." As she worked, sweat forming on her forehead, Alex placed mines near the gate and activated the drone swarm. The air buzzed with energy. Then the gate exploded inward. Fire and smoke burst through the dust as the raiders charged in. The first drone struck, sending one raider flying backward with a scream. Another stepped on a mine and vanished in flame. But 2 made it through. Alex fired clean and fast, dropping one. But the second dodged and tackled him to the ground. Zira screamed, grabbed her pistol, and fired. The shot hit the raider in the neck. He dropped. Alex sat up, coughing, but smiled. Nice aim. Zero was shaking, but alive, outside. The black ship powered up again. More were coming. We can't win if they keep sending waves, she said. Alex looked at her, his expression grim. Then we don't stay here. Zero stared. You want to run? Not run. Relocate. To where? He walked over and pulled out a sealed case from beneath the floor. Inside were coordinates. A secret place. A new site. High cliffs. Hidden. I saved it for when this place was no longer safe. Zira hesitated, then nodded. Then let's go. As Alex loaded the supplies, Zira sent a signal to the outpost's core system. A self-destruct countdown. 10 minutes. They loaded into the small backup hovercraft and left just before the second wave of raiders arrived. As they drove into the desert, fire lit the sky behind them. The outpost exploded in a burst of blue light. The place where Zira found hope and a new life was now ashes. She looked back, her heart heavy but her face strong. This wasn't the end. It was another beginning. The hovercraft raced across the open desert, engines humming low under the starry sky. Zira sat beside Alex, her hands clutching the edge of her seat. The wind was cold now, rushing against her face like whispers from a past that refused to die. They had lost their outpost. Their home, but not their purpose. The cliffs rose ahead, sharp and tall like walls guarding a secret. Alex guided the craft into a hidden path between the rocks. A narrow cave opened into a large canyon hidden from the sky. Inside was a shelter unfinished, but safe. Solar shields lined the walls, and old supply crates sat waiting in the shadows. Zira looked around in silence. You built this alone? Started it years ago, Alex replied. Never thought I'd use it. She rolled toward the center, eyes scanning the open space. It wasn't much, but it had air, water, power. A place to rebuild. This can work, she said. He smiled, tired but proud. We'll make it work. Over the next days they cleaned, repaired, and built again. Zira installed a stronger security grid. Alex reinforced the walls and created backup exits. Together, they worked faster than ever, not just to survive, but to live. One morning, as the sun rose over the canyon, Alex sat beside Zira, watching her attach a transmitter to a small drone. What's that for? He asked. A message, she replied. I want to send out a signal to others like me, to anyone abandoned, hurt, alone. He blinked. You're trying to bring them here? Not bring, she said. Invite. Alex smiled. You're becoming a leader. Zira looked up at the sky. No, I'm becoming what I was never allowed to be. He looked at her, really looked at her. The girl who had once been left to die was now shining with confidence, no longer silent, no longer scared. Later that night, as they sat under the stars, he finally asked what had been on his mind. Zira, what am I to you now? She turned to him, her voice gentle. You're the one who saw me when no one else did. The one who picked me up. Who believed in me when I couldn't even believe in myself. And what do you see in me? She smiled softly. A good man who needed a reason to live, and now has one. Alex reached out and took her hand softly. Carefully, she didn't pull away. In that quiet moment, surrounded by stars and cliffs and silence, something bloomed between them. Not just survival, not just trust, something warmer, something lasting. Days turned into weeks, and the shelter became a small station. Their signal reached others, lost travelers, injured beings, even children from war-torn planets. Zira welcomed them with her calm voice and her fierce heart. She became known as the girl who rose from nothing and gave everything. And Alex? He stood by her side through it all, quiet, strong, protective, but never controlling. Always watching her grow, proud of the woman she had become. The girl who had once been a burden was now a beacon, and the human who saved her. He stayed not because she needed him, but because they needed each other. Together, they had built more than shelter. They had built a future.